Did you two have a good relationship?
It was a rocky relationship.
Okay. Nonetheless, at some point you needed money and she's the person who you went to, right?
I went to her for financial advice.
This is the plaintiff, Akila Vasquez. She says the defendant, her stepdaughter, owes her money because she got herself into financial trouble and she came to her rescue. She can't seem to get the defendant to pay her back in full, and family or no family. She's owed $1,081.28 and is suing for just that today because she wants her money back. This is the defendant, Angelique Vasquez. She says she really doesn't like the plaintiff and has always kept her distance because she can't be trusted. She was paying the plaintiff on installments like they agreed, but one day she demanded payment in full, and that wasn't their deal. The woman then shut her cell phone off. That wasn't right to do, and now that she's split with her father, she drags her into court? Please. She's accused of taking a step in the wrong direction.
All parties, please, as you're ready.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated, come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor. You're welcome in.
Okay, Akila Vasquez,
Yes.
you are the stepmom of Angelique, is it Angelique?
Yes.
Vasquez?
Yes.
All right, now are you still with her father?
We are separated in the
Okay, and
process
who's the
of getting a
gentleman with
divorce.
Imajuan Brewer, I'm her son.
You're her son, okay. All right, so how long were you married, or how long have you been with her father?
Since 2011.
All right, so did you two have a good relationship?
It was a rocky relationship.
Okay. Nonetheless, at some point you needed money and she's the person who you went to, right?
I went to her for financial advice, and then I ended up borrowing money, yes.
Okay. Now, what was the financial advice that you needed from her?
Well, I had gotten to some debt problems. IRS had sent me a letter saying I owed them back taxes. I had some credit card payments that I had issues with. And at the time, I knew she was a person who knew how to handle.
She was the only financially stable adult in your life to turn to.
Yes.
Well, so you knew who to pick, so that's good.
Yes.
But now, when you say you owed the IRS back taxes, is that from not filing income tax returns?
I'm not sure. I think I filed wrong. It was my first time filing, really. I didn't know how to put one or two. I was kind of confused, and then they said I owed them back.
One or two what? Dependents?
Yeah. No, one or two.
Exemptions?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was unsure how to do that. So I went to her.
Okay, so how much money did she loan you?
She loaned me $1,100 altogether.
Is that accurate?
$1,150.50.
Does that sound right?
Yes.
All right. And when does that happen?
That was in June 2018.
And how did you loan that to her? You handed her the cash?
No, I put it on a credit card, and then I applied for another credit card that had a 0% interest rate for 15 months, and then I transferred that balance to...
Okay, wait, my head hurts. All right.
Okay.
So you put it on a credit card. That means you paid off what?
I paid off an IRS bill for her, as well as, I believe, a couple other.
All right, now that credit card was in your name.
Yes.
And so what you did was you transferred the entire balance of that credit card to a no-interest credit card?
Yes.
Including money that you owed on that credit card?
Yes.
All right, so that goes to a no-interest credit card. So that was a good move for you financially, obviously, as well as for her, because now how long was it going to be no interest?
For 15 months.
Really?
15 months, yes.
15 months?
15 months.
No matter what you owed?
Yes.
Wow, that's either great or terrible, depending on your spending habits. So what happens? She's paying off. What is the agreement the two of you reach on how she's going to pay this amount off?
Initially, she was going to pay $300 in 4 months. And then in July, she texted me and said that she wasn't able to do that she would pay $127.50 every 2 weeks.
Okay.
Over the course of 6 months.
Okay.
And I said, that's fine. If you need to take a little bit more time, that's okay, because I put it on a credit card that had 0% interest.
Right.
But she said she could pay it off in 6 months. And
Did she?
She did not.
All right, and then what happened? We're talking about July of 2018.
July, yes.
So when did she stop paying?
She stopped paying in November of 2018, but the payments weren't what she had agreed to.
What did she start doing instead?
She started paying like $100, then maybe $20, then $50.
All right, so all total, how much does she owe of the original $1,100 debt in principal? We'll talk about anything else.
$296.
Okay, does that sound right to you?
Yes.
All right, now let's talk about a Disney family trip. What happened on a Disney family trip? According to her, she loaned you $80 for that and you were supposed to pay her back and you didn't.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I have our text messages, and I had asked her how much it was, and she said, "Did you think you had to pay for it because you don't?" So I thought I didn't have to pay for it, but
Okay, so there's some text here in December of 2018, and you say, did you think you needed to pay for the Disney? And she says, no, I was comparing it to how much I paid when I went to spring break. I think I paid more. And you said, oh, okay. So what is she talking about? But this isn't $80, this is $500. What is she talking about?
So I paid for the family to go to Disneyland, not to San Diego. Each person purchased their own San Diego pass. And so she owed $80 for the pass, not for Disneyland.
What's a San Diego pass?
It's a pass so you can go to the zoo, you can go to Legoland.
So it has nothing to do with the actual Disney trip.
No.
So yes, this doesn't show you don't owe the $80 for San Diego. Now, the next thing that's being discussed is the phone, and that's the big ticket item here. So what's going on with the phone?
So she stopped paying for the phone in, I believe, October of 2018, October, November-ish.
How much was the phone per month?
She paid $90, and that was towards the bill as well as the cost of the phone.
Okay.
So when she stopped paying for the loan, she also had stopped paying for the family plan.
Which was when? December?
November. November was when she stopped.
And then the
I believe
family
last
trip was in
payment.
December?
Yes.
Okay, that's awkward. So why did you stop paying?
well, I have a payment from November that I paid her $100 and then $20. I
Yeah, but
forget
you know that's
why.
not the arrangement, right?
But I have the history. Oh yes, I know.
Okay,
I
so
have the
in
history.
December you go on the family trip and there's an awkward moment.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Well, whenever we've taken multiple family trips, and whenever we do it, it never really goes smoothly. There's always like an altercation.
Why should you be any different than the rest of the planet? But go ahead.
There's always like an altercation specifically regarding her. I have nothing against her. Like, she's my brother's mother and she's my dad's wife. I'll always respect her. I just never really had an interest in her personality just because she seems very like, I did this for you, so you must do this for me, or throwing things back in your face that you told her in confidentiality. And so I just never wanted to get too close to her. But of course, like I said, I always respected her because she's married to my father and she does all these nice things for me, which she doesn't have to. And I will always respect her for that and thank her for that. But in the trip, she was speaking to my dad while I was there and not speaking to me directly, saying some people on this trip are ungrateful, disrespectful, don't appreciate what we do for them, act like they don't even want to be here. I was happy to be there. I literally have never been to Disneyland my whole life. That was the second time. But she felt that I was disrespectful because I wasn't super involved, or maybe I wasn't up to par with what she wanted. But I was present. I was there. I was happy to be there. But she seemed upset. And then probably me being late, which was my own fault. I don't even know sure why I was late. I had so much debt piling up then, which she did help me with that. She told me every month $127.50 every 2 weeks, like she said. And then she helped me with how to plan out how to pay back all my debt as well that she couldn't cover for me.
Right, none of which you abided by. Right? So first you got yourself in trouble by getting into debt. Then
Yes.
she gave you this whole big plan.
Yes.
And then you said, I can't afford that after you had agreed to it. And then she
Yes.
said, okay, how about this plan?
Yes.
And then so she knocked it down. It's going to take you longer, but that's fine.
Yes.
So she's not exactly an evil stepmother. She's kind of, you know,
No.
right. And then you didn't do that either. Why didn't you keep paying?
Well, I was going to pay her in December, but then the awkward situation. I was going to be late. I did plan on paying her late. I will be honest on that because we were going on the trip and I had money to save. And I even told her right before the trip, after this trip, I really can't take any more trips because I can't afford it. I should be saving up for my debt that I owe.
Well, she was paying for the trip. What was it you couldn't afford?
Just food. She was not
Okay.
going to pay for my food. Like if I
You got to
wanted
eat
things,
anyway. How are you going to? I guess you're
yeah,
out. Okay.
Certain things like that, like just
Sure.
little things, like if I wanted my own souvenirs, just stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I got paid every 2 weeks, so just to hold me over. And then she did contact me after the trip and say, well, these are your 3 options. You're going to get off the plan either way, but I have the text messages of that.
Off the what?
And
The telephone plan?
Yeah, off the plan.
How
So
long had it been since you paid for your telephone?
probably after that, maybe a week or 2, I still was like, haven't paid her yet.
All right.
'Cause I was still affected.
How old are you?
I'm 21.
Okay. Oh, she's just a baby. All right. Is your mother around and alive?
Yes.
Do you have a good relationship with your mother and your father?
Yes, I do.
Do they help you financially at all?
They do not actually help my own mother financially, so
Okay. Who are you living with right now?
I live with my mother.
Okay, so you're not paying rent.
I am.
You are paying rent.
Yes.
All right. Stop spending. You know,
Yes.
do you have children?
I do not.
Okay, that would be really bad right now,
Yes,
right?
it would be.
Okay, I'm just throwing that out there.
would be.
You know. So you end up, how late is she on the phone payment when you decide to cancel the phone?
A month and a half.
And you're nodding. Okay. So you cancel the phone and
I suspended the phone, actually.
you
I hadn't
suspended the
canceled.
phone, hoping what? That she'd pay and you
That
wouldn't
she-
have to cancel it.
Right.
When did you finally cancel the phone?
So I just moved
You
it.
suspended it for how long?
I suspended it for 30 days or so.
And then what happened after 30 days?
And then I moved the balance over so that I could just pay the balance myself.
What's moved the balance over?
So in order to take the line off the phone, you have to move whatever is left on one line to another line.
Okay.
So the
you
560
moved the
moved-
balance over, and what was the balance when you moved it over?
$560.
Show me proof of that. And then the last thing that you are suing for is additional interest payment on the credit card because eventually the 15 months expire.
Right.
Now, you haven't paid anything in 2019 or 2020, right?
I did pay in 2019, yes.
What'd you pay?
And I paid her $127 in June, paid her $50 in July, I paid her $120 in August. In September, I did not pay. In October, I paid $100. November, I paid $100. December, I missed a payment, so on January 10th of this year, I paid her $200 to try to make up for being late.
Okay. And you acknowledge those payments? That's what
Yes.
brings it down to $290. When did the credit card interest start to kick in?
November 2019.
Okay. Now, there is a balance that is not only her balance, right?
Correct.
Her balance is $296. Your balance is $4,000 something.
Correct. However, it's
And that's the financially stable person in your life. Because that sounds like a really high balance to carry on a credit card. They're going to be punishing you every month.
Well, so there's 2 different things here. There's the interest that is a regular credit card interest, and then there's a transfer balance interest. So the $4,000 is from trips we've recently taken. Well, not her, but with her dad and our other child.
Okay, there are
so that's
penalties associated on the card,
Yes.
right? But the penalties, most of them, like you have the vast majority of the balance.
No, I don't. So I paid off what was transferred. It was only $2,000 that was transferred from this card. So my part is paid off. It was her part that wasn't paid off.
I'm sorry. Show me, when do you say that it all kicked in? November of 2019?
Yes.
Let me see the statements from November of 2019 until today.
This shows December.
I-
shows-
in my world, statements are many, many pages. What are you showing?
Well, I'd show that I didn't print out everything.
right, let
I just
me see.
printed out those.
You're showing me an interest rate. That doesn't tell me how much of the card is yours and how much of the card is hers.
There's one of them that has what the interest was when it kicked in.
No, you don't seem to understand me. I don't take litigants' word for it about how much she owes and how much you owe. I want to see the statements because they tell me how much of this balance is hers and how much of it is yours and what the relative proportions are. I mean, we're literally wasting this kind of time on $100 and something when what we should be talking about is why you guys have such a bad relationship. But I'm going to ask you for the last time to show me the statements so that I can see how much of it is yours and how much of it is hers. I don't just trust a litigant who just walks into my courtroom and you trust me, Judge, this chunk is hers, this chunk is mine. No, show me the statements. And while she's looking for that, I would like to hear from you because this is a situation where, although you may have a great relationship with your other 2 parents, the person you had to turn to for help was her. Your father didn't help you. Your mother didn't help you. In fact, you're helping your mother. So, have you guys talked?
Yeah, Yes, we talked through emails in 2020. We talked recently.
About the debt? Yeah,
Yes,
I
in
meant
general,
really
no.
talked. Have you guys seen each other? Do you visit over there? What's your relationship been like? Why aren't you looking for statements?
I have it right here.
Let me see.
The last time I really saw her physically in person and spoke to her was when she lost her grandmother, because that was, something out of control. And she recently lost her uncle as well. So I just felt the need to reach out and be there for her for that.
How did you reach out, and how were you there for her for that? I guess I'm asking. Did you see each other personally, or you just sent her a text saying, I'm so sorry?
I went to the funeral
Okay.
with them.
And
with the
how
entire
did it
family.
go between you two at the funeral? Did you
It was.
walk
everything.
up to her? Did you hug her? Did you give her a kiss? Did you tell him? How did it?
Yes, I
what's the
told her.
relationship between you two now?
I told her I'm sorry. I put it all to the side. We've never really had confrontation or anything, any bad blood.
Okay,
really.
you're mad that she's decided to come to court. Why? You know you owe the
Because-
money. You just
No,
feel like
it's-
that's another level?
I agree, because I feel like, why would I avoid paying you? Because
Well, you've
we will
avoided. I'm
always-
sorry. Why would you avoid paying her? Is a very
Yes,
good question, because you
yes.
have avoided paying her. This
Yes,
stuff was supposed to be
that's
paid
true.
off in 3 months. Then it was
Yes.
supposed to be paid off in 6 months.
Yes.
We are here 2 years and something later, honey.
Yes.
So you have avoided paying her. Now you may not. You may have avoided paying her because you're struggling or whatever else. But the whole idea was, I'm trying to become more financially responsible. So if you're spending money on hair salons and nail salons and trips and clothes and everything else, then you're not being more financially responsible, because the first thing that has to happen is the debt, right? So why are you mad that she has come here?
Because I feel like it was something we could have talked about together. I mean, I've confided in her a lot of the situations that have happened to me in the past that have prevented me from paying her. I mean, I've changed jobs drastically. I work part-time now. I hardly work at all. I have to pay my mom half my paycheck. The nails and everything. I get makeup for free at my job because I work for Sephora. And the nails, honestly, my boyfriend is super helpful. He pays for my nails. He paid for all the trips to LA.
That was just an example. I'm just
yes.
saying that
Yes.
when there's a month and a half that you don't pay, that's not good for the
Yes.
person you owe the money to, because it looks like a slap in the face.
I agree.
And when there's 3 or 4 months that you don't pay, that is multiple slaps in the face to the person you owe money to. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, once again, you're still not showing me statements.
That's the first page of the December
No,
statement.
you keep saying you're showing me statements, but you're not. You're showing me the first page of December statement. It has an $8,000 balance, and only $300 of it is hers.
I'm only asking for November and December's interest, not interest.
Why should she pay all of the interest?
I'm not asking for all of it. I calculated
How did you calculate it, though? It's so high. I don't know how you calculate it.
$296 on a 25.4, whatever the interest rate is, times the $296.
Okay, that's where you go wrong. That is an annual percentage rate, not a monthly.
And then I divided that, though, and then it was divided into 2 months.
Then how could, where is there a
So I'm only
world-
asking for
Stop and listen to
145.
me. Exactly. On 300, you're asking for 50% of it as interest. Don't you understand that can't be?
For
All
2
I'm-
months.
Yes, 2 months.
Okay, so
Do
maybe
you
I
live in a world
miscalculated.
where $300 is going to cause $150 interest in 2 months? That's not the real world. What you did was you made a mistake, and that's a financially responsible person, because you made a mistake, and instead of 26% per year, you did it, and you say that I calculated that and I took it. No, you didn't, because then you wouldn't come up with $145.28. What I come up with is $25.04. I'm ordering you to pay the following. You acknowledge. What is your defense on the phone?
Well, I have the text messages. She did give me 3 options. I did tell her which option I wanted to do. We talked about it for a while, and then it was just, she did suspend the service, like she said, and I said, if I pay this month, can I keep it for 1 more month to figure out how to pay for another service plan?
At that point, it was already $560 just for your phone?
Yes, the remaining balance, because I was leasing the phone, it wasn't mine. I was still paying off the phone and the
that's
bill.
what's left, just paying the phone.
Yes, paying the
All
phone
right, go
off.
on.
And then I did see my other options, and I couldn't. No one was willing to give me a
Okay,
good deal.
these are all you problems. They're not her
Yes.
problems. I mean, she has been patient. You have to admit that
yes.
she has been patient.
Of course.
All right, you owe the $560. You owe the $296.
Okay.
You owe the interest that I've calculated.
Okay.
And you owe the $80 for the San Diego pass, right?
Okay.
You owe the plaintiff a judgment in the amount of $961.04. I am entering a judgment for that amount. Good luck, folks.
So after all is said and done, the plaintiff gets the defendant gets a judgment against her of $961. You understand all the arithmetic, right?
Yes, I do now.
So what about this relationship between the two of you? What do you think's going to happen?
Well, I'll continue to respect her as who she is, and hopefully we can just look past it.
Think you can work it out a little bit?
Yes, I would like to.
Good enough. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, what about you, Ms. Vasquez? Do you think you can work this disagreement out between you guys?
You know, in a text message, she said she was never, ever going to talk to me again in life. And she is my youngest son's sister. And so I hope that at some point we'll be able to get along, but I'm not sure.
Time will tell.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Okay,
you.
you must sign some documents. Harvey?
Doug, look, we talked about this before. Loaning money to a relative is so difficult because if something goes south, you still have to live and interact with that person. All the more reason, get something in writing, even if it's an informal text or email. It will save the relationship. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Margaret Gordon. She says the defendant is her husband, who she's currently separated from. In October, the defendant had her arrested, claiming she threatened him, and he had her son arrested too, claiming he had a gun. When she got out of jail, she went to collect her belongings from their house, and not only did he throw all of her things out, he stole the $1,800 she had in cash. She despises this man now and is suing him for every penny of the $4,440.16 he owes her. This is the defendant, Owen Morris. He says the plaintiff made numerous visits to collect her belongings after he had her arrested. So, why didn't she grab the so-called $1,800 in cash she supposedly had in the house? He'll tell you why, because she's making this all up out of whole cloth, just like her missing belongings. Oh, her money? No way, and good riddance. He's accused of antagonizing an ex.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff and the defendant are married but separated. The defendant had her arrested, and when she got out of jail, her stuff and $1,800 were gone. The defendant says there was never any $1,800, period. It's the case of the old ball and chain.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome in.
Hi. So he is your husband and you're separated, correct?
Yes.
Any plans to get a divorce? Nobody's gotten around to it. All right. According to you, he had you. Were you living in the same house at the time that you got arrested?
Yes.
And this was on October 30th of last year. And tell me what happened.
Well, yeah, and I went out in Manhattan on an interview. First as my husband was second time we married. And we divorced and we married again a second time.
Okay.
And then in October of 29, when I went to Manhattan, and when I was leaving, Mr. Morris was changing the door after the locks, and I went out, and then I came back, and I was sitting to the door, and I heard Mr. Morris was talking on the phone. Who he was talking to, Your Honor, I'm not sure, but I heard when he said he's going to call the police, and the police did arrest.
Wait, I have no idea what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're starting like in the middle of a story.
Yeah.
So are you living there peacefully and happily with him, or you two were having problems?
Well, I was living there after I came out from the hospital because I was in an accident.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you hear him on the phone talking to who?
I'm not sure who he was talking to.
Did you think he was talking to a woman?
I think so.
All right, and then what happens?
And then I was sitting, having something to eat.
Had you been having problems with your husband before that?
Yeah, he was going and coming, doing his own thing, go out, coming in.
So were you fighting a lot?
We don't fight. He just, we have a little argument. He asked me for a divorce.
Okay.
At one time, and I really didn't make him an answer about that.
Okay. So how long had you and your husband been unhappy?
Well, we only did married for 3 years. January here, it'll be 3 years.
Okay. So most of that?
No.
Okay. So now you hear him on the phone, you think he's talking to a woman, and what happens?
Well, I didn't say anything, and then I heard him say, I'm going to call the police.
And then you what?
I didn't say anything at that time because we have a restraining order against each other.
And you're living in the same house?
Yes.
Okay.
He take
okay.
me to
Back
the
it
family
up.
court.
Back it up. Why is there a Why do you have restraining orders against each other?
My Honor, I sent for my son from St. Vincent to come here to help him. When he came here, all of us was living in the same house, but there was nothing I could do in the house. I used to spend more time in my van, Odyssey van. The only time I go home there is when I go to sleep.
Whose son did you send for?
My son.
Okay. Well, why are you blaming her for that? So your son
Yeah.
you send for, and he comes with his kids.
Yes.
And there's
wife and kids.
How many? Wife and how many kids?
3 kids.
Okay. So things weren't peaceful for you. So
Yeah,
you would
because-
sleep in the van.
Margaret told me she could call the police and say I do her something, even though not true.
Wait. What made things not peaceful that made you flee to your Honda Odyssey van? Margaret or 47 people you brought from St. Vincent? Which is it? Never mind. All right. Listen. What happens to get you arrested?
Well, he said, Your Honor, that I told him that when he died, his lady friend got to come and bury him. So the police came and they arrested me because of the restraining order.
So you're living in the same. You're not supposed to be in the house at all, according to the restraining
Yeah,
order.
from the family codes I was.
Say it again.
I was supposed to be in the house at that time.
You could. How are you going to be in the house? How are you two going to be in the same house when there's a restraining order against you? Is that what the judge said?
Yeah, the family court.
Yeah. So the family court said peaceful contact only, and then you say the statement: "The day you die, I'm going to call your girlfriends to bury
That's what he
you."
said.
You say that to him.
No, I didn't.
Oh, did you say that to him or you didn't?
No, Your Honor, I did not.
It's not even that bad if you. I'm trying to. And then you tell the police. She said that the day I die, she's going to call my girlfriends to bury me, and they arrest her.
My Honor, she repeat that statement to me more than once until I find that it was too much. And
I don't see how she got arrested for saying that.
No, because I have she's not supposed to use them chats to me.
She's not supposed to what?
Use those that's a chat.
A threat.
Yes.
Okay.
Telling me
That the
They will
day
have
you
to call-
die, someone else is going to bury you, not me?
they will have to call my girlfriend in Grenada to come up and bury me when I die. She not. I don't see.
But what? I'm sorry. How is that a threat?
It is
The
a
day
threat.
you die, I'm not going to pay for your burial. I'll call your girlfriend. I'm still not even understanding why you got arrested. But the bottom line is you got arrested. And then you have a son who's how old?
About 32.
Okay. And he was in the house too? Or he was not in the house?
He was not in the house
And you had him arrested? Because
Yes.
according to you, what did the son do?
because he pulled a gun at me.
Okay.
He checked me the
So now the son gets arrested, you get arrested. What's going on with those criminal cases?
Well, the criminal case with my son has been thrown out.
Thrown out. And what's
Yes.
going on with the criminal case with you?
Well, I have to go back in court and for trial.
Okay. So the police arrest you, and you have to go back and get your stuff. How do you go back and get your stuff? You go with the police?
Yes.
All right. So that day when they're arresting you, do they let you get stuff or no?
No.
Okay. So then you get arrested and you're released when?
I was arrested on the Wednesday the 30th and the release made a Thursday night. around
Okay.
8.
So when you are released on Thursday night, do you go with the police to the house to get stuff?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. And how long are you there?
Well, while we were there, Mr. Morris was not there, and the police called him, and he said he's coming. And they were waiting for a while. He did not come to a time, and that's when the police was writing up an order for me to go back to the court that they couldn't get in. And then he shows up in a few minutes.
Okay.
And they asked me to grab a few pieces of things because I didn't have any clothing. And then I had to go back to court.
So what did you grab?
I grabbed a bag with some church clothes that I have. Okay, it was right on the chair, and I grabbed my walker because I didn't have a walker to walk with. And they said we got to go back to the court to make arrangements so I could come and receive my belongings.
Okay, but weren't you just in court that day before?
Well, I was in court on the
On the
Thursday.
criminal case? Why didn't you just ask that judge to give you a court order to be able to go back? Is that what you had? You had
Yeah,
a court
the
order?
Thursday when I
okay,
went.
that's why I'm not understanding
Yes.
why all of it wasn't taken care of on Thursday.
No, the Thursday when we went, Mr. Morris, we didn't went the Thursday, we went the Saturday. That was November the
Okay,
2nd.
whatever day you went,
Yes.
normally the way this works is you have a court order, you
Yes.
go with the police, and you
Yes.
get everything you need. So
Yeah.
why didn't that all happen at once that day?
Because Mr. Morris was not home.
No, then he got home.
Yes.
Yes, so
Yes.
now he's home. Why didn't it
Yes.
happen after he's
But
home?
the police said they didn't have enough time to.
Oh,
wait.
because the police had been there waiting for him to get home.
Yes.
All right, so was there, I don't know, I mean, what, they're just going to respond to the next call, then respond to this call and
Yes,
finish it.
yes.
So what happens? You have another court order to go back,
Well, I had to go back to court on the 9th of December.
and then you got another court
And
order
I
to
got
go
a
back.
court order for
And
the
when do you
14th.
go back to get the rest of your
The
stuff?
14th of December.
And when you go back, he has 2 big trash bags, and all your stuff is supposedly in there.
Well, that's what he told me, but the police allowed me to go in the house to check, and when I went in and I looked, there wasn't any clothing.
Okay.
And we
Was there
did-
anything of yours when you went in and looked in the house?
No.
Okay, so the house was clear of your stuff, and now you got these 2 bags. And what happened? And so there was police with you the first time and police with you the second time.
Both times, yes.
Okay, so you filed a lawsuit because according to you, money is missing.
Yes.
And how much money is missing?
I have $1,800 in now.
Where was that $1,800?
It went in the bedroom in one the drawer with all my belonging, personal belonging. There was $1,500 in that drawer. And then I have a ministerial hymn book that I was ordained and got in there, and I have $300 in that book.
Okay, did you take her $1,800?
Never.
My honor.
No,
Okay,
sir.
No, it's not sir, it's
No.
ma'am. All right, and did she have $1,800 there? Do
She
you-
never have $1,800. My honor. She is not the secretary for the
That's
church.
how it's said in that country. Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
She's not the
I like
secretary
it.
in that church.
I would
What?
also have accepted your highness, which some island countries call judges your highness. And I'll take your eminence too.
She never have $1,800 into that place.
Okay, here's my question to you. You're there on the night you're arrested. You don't tell the police, wait, I have to go get my money. The guy's going to steal it from me. You come back on the Saturday or Thursday, whatever day you say it is, and you go in and you get some church clothes. But you have $1,800 there, right?
In the bedroom.
Yeah, why don't you just go get it?
We couldn't get in, Your Honor. I have
Excuse me?
You couldn't get in the bedroom. Mr. Morris had 2 locks on the bedroom.
So what? You're there with the police. Tell the police I have $1,800. Did you tell the police I have $1,800 in there?
Yes, and
No,
I
you
should have.
didn't.
I
Show me
should
the
have.
police report where the police said, well, I'm not going to
Nah.
let you get your $1,800.
No, I didn't say it the
Yeah,
first
that didn't
time.
happen.
No.
And then you go back with the police again.
The 14th.
And do you say, and they give you an opportunity, go in the house and
Yes.
check whatever you're,
Yes, Your
and
Honor.
there's $1,800 missing, but you don't tell the police then
Yes,
either.
I did at that time.
Show
Your
me the
Honor.
police report where they wrote a
Yeah.
report about your missing money.
He was right there, and I told the police.
Yeah, watch this.
And
Did
they
she tell
told
the
me-
police? Wait, did she tell the police there was $1,800 missing?
Never.
Okay, so
Never
now
one did.
show me the police report where you
No,
tell the
I
police that
didn't
there's
have it.
$1,800 missing. Because one would think that if you had $1,800 there and you're there
Yes.
twice before, you would get the money then, right? If you really had $1,800 there. So now the other thing you're suing for is $2,640.16 exactly for missing items that you say weren't in those trash bags.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, is there anything missing from the stuff that you collected of hers? Sir, what, don't stare her down. Is there anything missing from the stuff that you collected of her? Why do you hate her so much?
I don't hate her.
She's sick, you got her arrested.
Miss-
Why is it you hate her right now? What did she do to you?
Your Honor, I'm married to Margaret once. And on my birthday, I married she another time. You call that hate? You think I go hate
Okay,
her?
I think what you're saying is I married her, and then I divorced her, and then I married her again, so that's not hate.
That's not hate?
Yeah, but right now you look like you hate her. So I'm wondering, what did she do to you? Why are you so angry?
I don't hate Margaret. It's because Margaret is pretending to be a reverend mother. That's the reason why I'm married to her. She tell me, I changed who and I am a reverend mother, and 2 of us going to the same church. And
What's a reverend mother?
It means she's higher than a minister then, like somebody under a bishop.
All right.
So I said, let me give it another shot. I didn't even date her.
What was the problem before she became a reverend mother?
Before she became the reverend mother, she was just like any ordinary body.
She was what?
Less like any ordinary poor people.
Well, yeah, but you married her. So what was the problem?
When she becomes a reverend and she sold that oath, she have to live for God.
No, but what was wrong with her before she became a reverend mother that you divorced her? What was the
She-
problem between you two? You just didn't get along? What is it?
She was not living the right life.
Meaning?
She was not living the right
Was she cheating on you?
Yes.
Okay. So now she's a reverend mother. She's changed her ways. And then what was the problem this round? Round 2 with Margaret. What was the problem?
The problem with Margaret, she can't be I can't trust her. As soon as I'm married to Margaret, the second week, all her friends tell me that Margaret said she's gonna take me to the cleaners. I don't know if you know what that means.
Oh, I do.
She's gonna take me to the cleaners. I said, oh yeah? Everybody from the church. Margaret, she's gonna take you to the cleaners. Be careful with Margaret.
Okay. So, is there anything that's missing from the stuff that she left in the house?
Mayala, when Margaret come there with the two police the last time, I asked her in front of the police, would you like me to bag those things in a bag so when you come back the next time, you will get them? She said she never tells you the police have police have a camera here. I wish that camera could have played back again. Everything had that happened.
Does anybody have a police report from either of the encounters? Did the police write a report on either trip? No. Did you cheat on him?
No,
routinely?
No, we go to church. He's a bishop.
Okay, listen, I don't know what that means.
No.
We go to church, we can't cheat.
He's a bishop of the church.
I do not know what that means. All right.
Nah, he's a bishop of the church.
Yes, everybody is holy, holy, holy,
Yes.
except for here. Okay, so according to you, there's all this stuff missing. How are you going to prove to me that there's stuff missing?
Yeah, no, well, the clothes that I have in the home that I bought, I went where I got the receipt. I went online to every place that I
Well,
buy.
you went online, but do you have a list of things that you say are missing?
Yes.
But how are you going to prove they're missing?
I only go where I shop.
Yeah, one
and buy.
perfume, another perfume, a
Yeah.
cover-up dress. You're just listing things.
I ordered them from the Victoria's Secret. I went and
You just went online and just started writing numbers. How are you going to prove this stuff is missing?
They pulled them up for me.
All righty.
I didn't just take it on my own.
Okay, Margaret, we got a problem. It's your word against his that there's stuff missing. And when I try to consider who's telling me the truth on the missing stuff, I have to consider that $1,800 and the story behind the $1,800. I'm finding it very hard to believe that you go back there twice and you don't get your $1,800. If in fact you told the police the $1,800 was missing, it would be on a police report. That's the first thing they would write on a police report. I don't think you've ever mentioned it to anybody until you decided to sue him for this $4,441 that you're suing him for today. I find that there is insufficient evidence for your case, and I'm ruling in favor of the defendant.
Thanks.
So, Judge Millian just did not believe Miss Gordon's story here that you had $1,800 and didn't get it in the two trips you went back.
He did. He took me $1,800.
So
Yes,
you
he
did have it?
Yes, I did.
So what now? What are you thinking about what just happened?
I don't know, but he did have it. He took it.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's the judge's decision. And you have no plans to divorce yet? You're not going to do it?
So maybe soon.
Maybe soon.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry you couldn't prevail, but that's
Yeah.
it, okay?
Yes.
All right. All right, Mr. Morris, step on out. She thinks the money was there. What do you think?
There was no money there. No money. She never have no money there. Why she will have money there and come with the police one time, leave the money there. Come with the police two times, leave the money there. It doesn't make sense.
Well, I must say the judge agrees with you. That's it. So you're going to get a divorce?
I filed one already. I wish this judge could have signed the divorce and let it go once.
Okay, well, that's a different court. All right, sir. Thank you very, very much. Okay.
Here's the thing, Doug. Theories are great, but they don't win court cases. You know what wins court cases? Evidence.